Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
going on? What's going on?
Yeah.
What's my camera? What's going on with my camera?
Let's want your camera. Is your lens good?
Yeah, we
Let's make
good.
sure our lens is
There we
good.
go.
Let's make
There
sure.
we go.
Let's make sure.
All right.
Okay. My
What
stuff
we
good.
got going on? Let's see what Austin is talking about.
Okay.
Oh, he says he's backstage. What are you talking about? It says
He's not on. He's
So-
telling me he's not backstage. I don't see him. What's going on,
right.
everybody? Welcome
Let
to
me
another
get-
episode of Real
let me
Talk
take care of this
Real
real quick.
Estate.
Hey, so real quick, I want to welcome y'all to the Real Talk and Real Estate podcast. Hey, we're running and gunning right now, so we're trying to get things situated, get our guest on. But here on the Real Talk and Real Estate podcast, we give that real talk straight, no chaser. So stick around. We're going to talk to our guests here shortly. You got anything to say to them, to the people, Chris?
It's good, man. Let me tell you, brother. We've been over the last. So what is this? This is our fifth show, sixth show, somewhere around that way.
No, it's a lot.
It's up there, but it's amazing the feedback that we're getting on a constant basis, man. And I wish there was some way that we could, share, what folk are saying. And it's just a powerful, powerful thing to be able to have this particular platform and to be able to have the guests on, just giving that raw, pure, unadulterated truth about how to get this thing done. So I don't think it's I don't count it anything but a blessing that God has positioned us in this particular time and season to be able to bring this information forth. And so it's an honor and a privilege, brother. I'm telling you.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely, man. You're absolutely right, man. The feedback we've gotten is amazing, man. People are definitely enjoying the show. Definitely bringing some great value and definitely bringing something different to this real estate industry, man.
Sure.
I'm excited about what we got planned and things we got coming up.
We got some stuff.
We
got some stuff.
Yeah.
We got some stuff, but we're not gonna release it. We're not gonna release it tonight. But we got some stuff.
Oh yeah,
Most definitely.
All right.
Yeah. So you is I know he's trying to get on backstage. So we're gonna bring him on. Would you like to give
so let's get his,
he got a plethora of information.
There he coming up.
Yeah.
Hey, so let's talk about Austin real quick, man. Good friend of mine. He was the guy that brought me to the real estate company I'm at now, EXP. And so he's a seasoned real estate agent, helping people build, buy, and sell in St. Johns County. His family, he's been doing that real estate thing for the past 7 years. His family is his lovely wife, AnnMarie, his 2 kids, Luke and Savannah. Luke's at Florida Gulf Coast University, and Savannah's wrapping up her senior year at Nease High School. So his business ethos, he goes about his business by relationship building and with a blend of social media savvy, mainly through Facebook, dedication networking, and referrals. So his approach is geared toward creating lasting connections while going about living his life. And let's talk about this, man. The brother has done $14 to $18 million in real estate.
14 to 18
the past 3 years. So I mean, he definitely knows the business inside and out. So let's bring him on, Mr. Austin Preik.
Austin.
Hey.
There we go.
You got a real podcast room back there, brother. I need to step up my game a little bit.
I get my stuff together over here, man.
What's going on? Hey, the secret is LED lights that you could just change the colors of your background. So
that's the secret.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
That's real nice back there. Welcome to the show.
And with the blackout curtain, I guess, huh?
I did. Yeah, I have blackout curtains here looking into the house, so like the family isn't up like on the window the whole time.
Sure.
Trying to make me laugh, which would be okay. And then I get a little bit of sunlight here, but it's a little cloudy right now.
Yeah, it looks good. Yeah. It looks real good. Welcome to the show.
Man. Thank you.
Welcome
to the show.
Hey man, so let's go ahead and hop into this thing, man. I want to know how this whole Canadian thing to selling St. Johns County thing got started. Like, give us the background on how that came about.
Oh man,
we can't go back further than that and just ask him who is he first. I
want to get to how he got from Canada to St. Johns County.
Okay.
Yeah, let's get to that.
Okay. Yeah, so I grew up in Canada, in Ontario. Primarily, I guess, from middle school, high school, a town called Kingston, and which is just, if you go up 81, cross the go around Lake Ontario and take a left, and it's probably 2 hours from Syracuse, New York. So not too far from the border. My wife's actually from the Utica area, so we grew up about 2.5 hours from each other and met in North Carolina. But that's probably another story. I moved to the States in '98 and actually met AnnMarie, my wife, in North Carolina. And I was doing industrial wood sales at the time. So I was watching paint dry for a living, lacquer and paint and stuff like that in an industrial setting. And then that took me to Ohio. It took me to Connecticut, and it took me back to North Carolina again. And I want to say probably 2007, the company sold. I had some share appreciation rights and basically was able to cash out and was going to buy one of my distributors. Or at the time, I was actually going to go to seminary and couldn't figure out which to do. And my little brother actually was like, hey, man, if money wasn't an issue, which would you pick? I'm like, well, seminary sounds really cool. Love to do some ministry stuff. So actually did that. Didn't buy the distributor that I was going to buy, and kind of glad because right about that time, if you remember 2007, 2008, everything kind of went like this. Yeah. And it was really tied to cabinets and the housing sector as well. So might not have been the best time to have spent a bunch of money on a new business. So anyways, I don't know if I'm making a short story long, but finished, got my master's divinity, and just through a bunch of different circumstances, well, I guess I would say it was God, but just it seems like a trap door opened underneath us, and we actually ended up in Botswana, Africa for 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. So the foundation that I was working with, they had built a baby rescue center, and so it was supposed to be the project was supposed to be a certain amount of money, and it went significantly over. And then there was a much larger project going on, so I went over there to just try and make sure that we kept a handle on expenses, but actually everything really ran itself pretty well. So my wife is an occupational therapist. So she worked at the baby rescue center. And then I did some different teaching and just different things while we were over there. So that was a good time. But, my wife in the past, she had prayed, Lord, please don't send us to overseas missions, and please don't make me live in Florida. And so, of course, God had to move us to Africa. So we would be like, okay, Florida doesn't sound so bad, doesn't sound so hot, but actually the humidity is a lot worse. But an opportunity opened up in Florida, and so after the couple years in Botswana, we took the trek here to sunny Florida. And since I've told my wife, please, you need to pray, Lord, please don't let me win the lottery. And
so she got her prayers will be answered, huh?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
gotcha.
So, anyways, yeah, that's how I ended up in Florida. We've been here we're in our 11th year, so we've been here for 10 years, and I actually love it now. We're still cooler weather, mountain people. I can still see us sometime at least having a part-time house somewhere else in maybe halfback in Greenville or Asheville or one of the villas up there, and enjoying the mountains as well. But man, yeah, Florida's really grown on us.
Good. Gotcha. So tell us this, Austin. So how and why did you get into real estate?
Oh man, I've done a lot of different things, and I was actually talking about this recently. I can't remember the last time I've had like a W-2 job, like a job where I work regular hours and get paid like a regular person. It's always been sales, and largely because, in sales we have, I mean, people say I want to get into real estate because I don't want to have a boss. Well, and end up with 25 bosses instead. But it does open up freedom. So once you learn how to, manage time and leverage things properly, you have a lot of freedom to do what you want to do and still make enough money to provide for the family and be able to give some extra. And it's just a great opportunity. I love to say it just because I love houses, and I love decorating and all of that. But man, I love serving people. I love helping people in that in the investment aspect of it, in the moving. I mean, having moved from Canada, having moved from overseas, I know what it's like to move from out of state, out of country, and other places, and it can be super stressful. And if you make a decision, like I had a weekend here in the September before we moved in December, where I looked at Nocatee, and that's where we ended up moving. But I had no idea. So the value of having an agent to walk you through that process. I'll use my Canadian on you, is just invaluable. So that's a big chunk of why I jumped into real estate. It's a great ability to provide for the family, make a decent living, make a really good living, and enjoy what you're doing too, and just get to work with helping people.
So let me jump in. Was there someone, because you have a huge background, coming from the ministry, been in Africa, paint business. So you have a plethora of different things that you've acquired and done. You moved to Jacksonville, Florida. Was there someone in your sphere that you thought about that was in real estate that you said, you know what, I could do that, and I could probably do it at a higher level?
Well, Chris, that's a great question.
Thank you. That's what I do.
So really it was Maurice Murphy. That's a great question. And so I was in ministry here for a little bit, and then I had another business, and then I was getting out of that, and there was just a couple of people in my life. I want to say my dad, a few other people were just like, man, you need to try real estate. You've got a personality for it. Now it turns out, we all think, hey, if you're a fun person and you just get along with people, you get into real estate, it's going to be easy. Everyone wants to sell with me. Everyone wants to buy with me. And then you get that little shock slap in the face. Like, I'm not as awesome as I thought I was. Nobody's begging to do business with me. But there was another guy, shout out to Abe Blocker. At the time, he had worked with Watson, like internally a little bit. And so he was instrumental, I remember, in having some good conversations about what real estate might look like. He made some suggestions of people to connect with, and helped me decide where I wanted to go for my first team, and all of that kind of stuff as well. So I didn't really I wasn't really watching the industry to really have like, oh man, that's the agent that I love and I want to be. I didn't know anything about it really. I just took a class online over the summer, and said, okay, here I'm kind of a ready, fire, aim guy. So
love it. Yeah.
My wife wasn't maybe super excited when I said, hey, I'm career changing again. But it's worked out. I will say that, so that first year I started with a team, and great team, great people. It just wasn't a great fit for me. And so I went solo for a little bit. And then Josh Rogers called me, and he knew my wife through Trinity Fitness. He was a coach there, and knew that I was in the industry. And he reached out to me. He's like, hey, broski, you want to grab a cup of coffee and talk about the team? And I was like, no, I'm good. I tried the team thing and just like shut him down. And I think it took him aback a little bit, but then I spent some time over that weekend. I remember it was a Friday, and I spent some time on the weekend thinking about like, hey, why am I not willing to have a conversation at least? And just really realized that a lot of it was like just ego. I don't know if you guys have any ego, but I've got a little ego there sometimes. And we just want to show like, I can do this. I can, be the big gun myself. I don't want to be on a team. I want to do it all myself. And so just wrestled with that a little bit, and called him back Monday and said, hey, let's grab coffee. And of course, Maurice, Josh, and his response was definitely not immediately, okay, let's get coffee. It was, well, first tell me what changed. Why?
Yeah.
So he pushed back a little bit, and long story short, we grabbed that coffee, and I linked up with him, and man, it was a great decision. I got to hop in right away, sell a whole bunch of new construction, meet all the site agents in town, and all of those people, and just get a good. It was like rocket fuel for the real estate career.
Gotcha. So now you mentioned, so you have this elaborate background in sales. So has that helped you any, or has any of the skills you've learned in those industries help you in your real estate business?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of things that carry over. I mean, now I kind of, just having done like this for the last 7 years, with high level coaching that I've been getting. Sometimes I like to go the opposite. I'm like, man, if I could go back and know what I know about YouTube now, and like if I was selling paint still in the industry, like if I was applying the things I'm applying in real estate, nobody's doing that in that industry.
Yeah,
that could make some waves. But yeah, 100%. I mean, just basic. You go to sales conferences, you learn basic things, you learn how to communicate, you learn how to talk to people, learn how to mirror a little bit, just little things like repeating things back so people feel heard. All those things translate over to this business as well. I mean, of course, there's a lot of different things too, but technology's changed, and how we stay top of mind is completely different than when I was doing this back when I started. I used to have to drive. It was industrial sales. So I drive from North Carolina and I go up to Ohio, where I had a territory up there. And if I wanted to check messages, I had to you used to be able to pull off the road, and they had these phone banks you could drive up to. You have to pick the phone up and boop, 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 put in your calling card number first, and then boop, 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 put in your voicemail number. And then you have to check your voicemails and do the whole process again for every single call. And then in 99, I think I got one of those Nokia, those bulletproof little hard phones. And so that was the tech that we had back then. There was no Facebook, no YouTube, no inbound marketing that I was aware of at the time.
Yeah.
I want to ask a question. I want to kind of piggyback on something that you just said earlier. And so I have basically 2 questions, but I'll do a follow-up with it. So the first thing is, you talked about how when you were with that first company and how it wasn't a right fit for you. And so many agents are in companies right now that's not the right fit. How important to you is culture, fitting, the environment? How important is that in order to be successful in the real estate industry?
I mean, it's critical, right? I mean, talk to team leaders. I was listening to a guy today talking to team leaders specifically, and about how, they're losing people based on, commissions and splits. And he's like, you probably attracted them with money, so you're going to lose them with money. You want to be able to provide coaching and culture and recognition, and just have a place where people feel like they can belong, and are a part of a family, a team, whatever you want to whatever kind of analogy you want to make there. So yeah, I think it's absolutely critical. But then there's the financial aspect and the opportunity aspect as well. The team I'm at now has been very responsive to ideas. We talk about, there's a book called Fierce Conversations, and it talks about if you had a beach ball and everyone sees different sides of the beach ball, right? And so we all have different perspectives, and team leader and operations and VAs, everyone has their own perspective on things. And so we all have blind spots too. I can't see what's on the other side of the ball. And so super helpful when you got a team leader that will listen to you, come with your concern, especially if you come with suggestions for how to fix it as well. And I'll say this team has been very positively responsive in that way, willing to, try to find something that's fair and that works for, everybody on the team. And versus, and this isn't to, slam the original team that I started with, but for instance, when I started, and maybe just business is done differently back then than it is today too, but I had to give like a Excel spreadsheet with all my contacts on it, and anyone going forward after that was a team lead. So I had some friends referred me some other friends that moved to town. And so this is completely generated by myself. This is completely, something that I'm working on myself, nothing to do with the team. Didn't give me anything for that. But the team leader on that team was like, no, that's my lead. Those are my people. I'm just like, I plan to stay here for a while to learn. But I'm like, at the end of a year, everything I've done has been, I don't have anything to show for it. Like if you don't have your own database, you don't own your own leads, like your own people, forget it. Get off that team and get someplace where you can own your own self-gen stuff for sure.
So let me ask you something. I'm hopping here real quick. I had a question to piggyback on that. So what advice would you give those agents who feel like they have to be loyal to that organizational or that team that's not the right fit, but they still feel like there's something that's holding them there, that team has taught them so much, and they brought them in when they first came into business, and they feel like they just cannot leave because that they want to be loyal to that team? Like, what advice would you give those folks?
I mean, I guess first of all, I mean, I respect and I understand the feeling. When if you're a giver, when people give to you, you just feel compelled to give back. And a lot of times, that comes out in loyalty, and especially if a team's like sticky, though, I think they're going to hold you there with more than just loyalty. So if you're there and you're not feeling like it's a good fit, or you're not feeling like you have the opportunities that you want, I'd say the first thing to do would just be communicate that with your team leader first and foremost, and have a conversation. And again, bring what you see as a problem forward, but also bring a possible solution as well. Hey, I noticed that when we do a team open house, that becomes a team lead. I don't think that's right. I could go anywhere and have an open house at a different brokerage even, and they would let me keep all the leads as self-generated. Oh, that's a good point. I didn't think about that. Yeah, let's make that change. Then, you're having good dialogue and making positive change for you and for your team. If you do have those conversations and it's not going to work for you, then I guess it's make some phone calls and start putting feelers out there and seeing what else is out there. But 100%, like, please don't just ghost your team lead, or just, call them up like, hey, I'm leaving. Because not only can you help yourself, you can actually help your teammates as well, just by being the one that'll have the conversations and bring positive change for the team, and help that team leader see that side of the beach ball that he or she can't see. And it's going to help them be more sticky and attract people and just build a better, healthier team in the end. So that's a good question, Maurice. I think it would be, first of all, have the conversation, try to work things out there. And, if it's not going to work for you, then maybe it is time to investigate other opportunities.
Gotcha.
You talked about earlier, Austin, you talked about how when you were going to have when Josh Rogers first reached out and wanted to have a conversation, you wasn't even open. What do you think it is that keeps a lot of agents stagnant in that place where they're not even just open to hear an opportunity?
Yeah, I think, well, if we're talking about teams in particular, I think it's ego. I want to do this myself. And number two, we think, oh man, it's not fair. They're going to take a bunch of my money and take, I got to pay a split. I got to pay 50%. I got to pay 30%. I got to pay whatever it is to my brokerage, and then pay my team lead as well. What am I getting for that? And unfortunately, a lot of times they're so desperate to cling on to 100% of zero, and they're actually not doing a lot of business. Or you see people that are on a team, and they start to have a little bit of team success from team leads, but they haven't really learned how to self-feed and generate their own content. I almost said generate their own business, their own leads. And what happens then is they leave the team thinking, well, I'm going to get 100% of everything I bring in, but they end up not doing as well as they did when they were on a team, because gosh, there's obviously a team brings you leads, and a team brings you marketing, but there's just something on a healthy team with the collaboration. Chris, you mentioned culture. That being a part of that, it just brings a different energy, a different accountability, different coaching level, and the opportunity not just to receive coaching from up here, but also when you have new people join, you're able to like reach down and help pull people up as well. And like nothing's gonna make you grow faster than helping coach or helping train someone else that's coming up as well.
It sounds like what you're saying is like you have it's the ability of a community where you don't feel like you're in this by yourself.
Oh, Chris, you put that so well. Maurice, iron sharpens iron. We're always talking about how we're like cowboys and cowgirls in the Wild West out there on our own, slinging real estate, and it's lonely sometimes. And like, if your spouse isn't in the business, they only want to hear about your problem so much. And even if they're
like, when are we closing on the next house? That's all you got to talk about.
You can see it glaze over, and they just don't get the highs and the lows and the stresses and the ups and the downs. It's not a slam on the spouses. I don't understand the first thing about occupational therapy either, but it's just nice to have other people it can be a lonely business for sure. Real estate can be lonely. So being a part of a team, however that looks as a team leader or even on a team, definitely can scratch a lot of itches as well.
Let's do it.
So also let me ask you this then. So let's talk about the time when you were a solo agent. So tell us about, like, first off, what was the struggles from transitioning from being on a team to being a solo agent, and how did you overcome going solo?
Maurice, I have no idea what I was doing. That real estate exam, it teaches you how many square feet are in an acre. And I know what redlining is. I think those are the two things I can remember from real estate exam. But so I mean, full disclosure, I think I was at that team for 6 to 8 weeks maybe before I realized it wasn't going to be a great fit and moved on. But I actually just gave her some props the other day. She taught me how to circle prospect, like call in an area, and door knocking and some of that kind of stuff. And so that's what I went out and did. I got a dialer, and I did some calls. I door knocked in Walden Chase, I remember, and kind of took that tact. Did a little business with Sphere. Abe, the guy I talked about before, he was my first listing that I ever had. He let me sell his house, and in Walden Chase, over by Nocatee there. And I want to say I was only solo for 3 or 4 months probably before I linked up with Josh. So it wasn't. I've been with Josh's team, F3 team, we were select property partners at the time, for probably 7 years, just about.
Oh, wow.
In August, I bet you it'll be 7.
Wow.
So you said you and Josh linked up because of the wife. That's what that's what you told me. Okay, got it. That's good stuff. All right. So
his wife said his team was had too much estrogen. It was too many females, and he needed to get some bros on the team as well. So I don't think she liked Josh's Angels.
Yeah, she don't like Josh's Angels.
So she started looking around for a dude, or he started looking around for a dude, and I guess hey, well, I can say I fit that bill at least.
That's good stuff. We do have a question from Joe Mock, and I believe Joe Mock is on your team somewhere, right?
Ooh-wee!
Yeah. So Joe Mock. The
Joe call.
He said, what were the top 3 mistakes or errors that you feel you made in your real estate career? And that's the first question. And what did you learn from them? That's the second question. And how did you recalibrate? Good question.
Oh, man.
Good question.
Top 3 mistakes. So, okay. Let me just start with the first one and try and take it through all of that. The first mistake I made was spending money on lead generation. Especially when I went solo. I remember, I think Ylopo had just started, and it was this new AI thing, like a chat bot basically. this is quite a ways back, and that was on Follow Up Boss. And so I paid for that. And I paid for the other thing. And you start paying for stuff because it's really easy. And if there's other agents out there watching this, I know that you've said this before. I know that you've said it. If I can just get one sale out of this, then it'll make it worth it. And then all the other stuff is just gravy after that, right? And so then you start spending $1,500 there. And I never did this, but you get those calls all the time to be on like a golf scorecard or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
You'll be the only one because it's filling up fast, by the way.
Exactly. Or $200 there, and like, oh, can you sponsor our school's cheerleading team? $300 there, and you get to be on a t-shirt with this volleyball team, and you start spending all this money, and and especially the reoccurring things that you forget to cancel, or you get locked into contracts. And they don't produce, or you don't know how to make them produce by proper follow-up, or just really knowing how to handle it. And so I spent way more money than I should have. And so what was the second part of that question?
He said,
what I learned from it?
Yeah.
Yeah, what'd you learn from it?
Yeah. So learn not to do that, but learn how to look for things to lead with profit, and how to find business for free or for minimal cost. And so part of that too, and talking about this just covers in the recalibration too. So let's say you've got $500 a month to spend on marketing. Do you want to send postcards? And that might be fine. I don't do that, but like, maybe you want to send postcards, or maybe what if you took that $500 and you just had coffee with people? You just took people for lunch. You spent it on an event where you brought people in. And so again, a lot of that is just finding what works for you personally, but getting out of like putting some standards and principles in place where I am not going to spend money on lead gen, and then joining the team helped with that too. I don't have to spend that money. We do events that I can invite people to, and that's not out of my pocket. So, anyways, I'm starting to ramble, so I'll stop and let you ask a follow-up.
Let me ask a question. So when you were spending the money on the lead gen, that was prior to going to the team concept. Is that correct? What I'm understanding? Yeah. Correct. Okay. So do you oppose buying leads? Is that something that you, so talk about your philosophy when it comes to buying leads.
I just don't do it because it's not what I do, but I've known a lot of people that do really well spending money on leads. I will say too, I was doing some coaching with a lady who was buying a bunch of Zillow leads.
Yeah.
And she was pretty successful, but when you look behind the curtain, sometimes the profits aren't really there. Some people are spending $6, $7, $8, $9, $10, $11, $12, $13,000 a month. This, at least back then, I don't know how it works now, but on Zillow leads, then you've got to sell 2 or 3 houses just to break even. And I remember her saying, my kids hate my job. And I remember her saying, I feel trapped. And it was because, if you have to sell houses to break even, then that's kind of a scary spot to be in. And again, if you can get out of your contract, whatever, then you just, get out. Sure. But just with the opportunity today, I mean, look at the internet's done for us. I don't want to turn it to Gary Vee here, but the internet has given us so much opportunity where if you want to be an author, you don't have to go and get into break into a big publishing group and get an editor and all of that. You can do it yourself.
Right.
You want to make documentaries, go make documentaries and post them on YouTube. Even start with 5-6 minute things and work your way up, or just, whole hog, go do it. You could do anything you want right now without all the barriers that we used to have.
Sure. And
so in lead gen, that's there too. Use YouTube to generate leads, use Facebook, use, anyways, I covered one mistake. Is that enough? That's enough?
Good. That's good. That's good. I think, do you have a question, Maurice?
No, go ahead.
I think let's follow up with that then, because you talk about how the internet and social media these things, this platform is so awesome for us. But with that platform, there's a lot of noise on that platform. How does Austin stay focused and not get caught up in the weeds of all the noise that's going on that platform?
All right. Well, you're begging the question that I actually don't get caught up in the weeds. So
I guess you're right. You're right. Go ahead.
But no, that's the danger, right? So I think the biggest safeguard that I put into place for me not to get caught up in the weeds is time blocking and timers. I guess we could probably market the 2 T's, right?
Yeah.
Time block. So set and I'm a big proponent for myself because I'm a little ADD, a little all over the place, or a lot. I like to create like small chunks. If you throw you've got to do something for 2 hours at me, peace out. I can't do it. I know I'm going to get distracted at some point. So I like to create little 10-minute, 15-minute, 20-minute, 10-minute little blocks of things where, okay, I've got to do admin work. I'm going to do that for 10 minutes, but then I'm going to do my social media hit list, which is so many comments, so many likes, so many messages, so many friend requests, and a post, just as a daily rhythm. And so what I'll do for that is there's 2 ways that I'll use a stopwatch. One is, in that case, like a stopwatch. So it's counting up, right? It starts at 0. How quickly can I get these things done? How quickly can I get the hit list done? My record's under 7 minutes, but anywhere from 7 minutes to 15 minutes, I can knock out the most important things I have to do on social media today. And I know I'm done with that. I've won the day on social media for, that piece of content. Then when you get to other things, I'll do a countdown timer. I'll set it for 10 minutes. I'll set it for 15 minutes. And during that time, I turn off all my notifications, get my phone out of the room or out of sight, and just focus on that task for that 10 minutes, for that 15 minutes. And maybe it's follow up with a certain type of lead, or it's writing handwritten notes or whatever that is. It's just going to be for that time. And if I look at the timer and I'm like, all right, I've got 3 minutes left, I can totally focus for those 3 minutes. Otherwise, it's really easy to, pick this up and start going through, reels and getting sucked into the cat videos and all of the wonders of the internet.
Got you. Hey, so Austin, so I want to get into it, man. So you're a high producer, $14-18 million a year. And we've had this discussion. You really don't get any leads or get any, much of your business doesn't come from the team. You've self-generated your business. Mm-hmm. So the begging question is,
how you do it?
Why have you not started a team, or why have you not decided to be a solo agent? Like what value have you gotten for the team that keeps you there, and why haven't you just went away and started your own thing? Go ahead.
No, it's a great question. And I mean, Josh and I have had several conversations about opportunities that maybe I go off and do and start a team or do something solo or do something with partnerships or whatever. Mm-hmm. But just in those conversations has always been enough value for me to stay. And I will clarify, this year actually it's been nice. I've been taking some of the team leads again because I've gotten a little bit slow on some of my self-generated stuff. And so it's nice to have that as a backup. My first year, I'd say probably 80% was team leads. My second year, probably 60%, probably dropped to 35% the year after that. And then I was like, for a couple of years, I didn't take leads from the team. And I've turned that back on a little bit just to kind of compensate for some of the slowdowns that I've seen on some of my other stuff. So I do right now, and that's a great opportunity to have that. So just I have strengths, but I also have weaknesses too. And some of my weaknesses are more on the administrative side. And yeah, I could get a transaction coordinator, and I would if I was by myself, but man, I've got Kelly, our ops manager. I've got Emily, our incredible transaction coordinator. We've got Aaron and our VCs. We've got like such a good group of people here. I've got showing assistants that I can use. So I don't actually have to show property. I can connect them with other people. They schedule everything. They take my buyers out to show property, and then I step in for negotiating and doing deals and whatnot. I'm free to take people when I want to. So it's just freedom. I'm able to, go on vacation for 2 weeks and forward my emails on my phone and know everything's taken care of. So like financially, I guess you could argue maybe I'm leaving a little bit of money on the table, but that's not my primary driver. Isn't trying to make every single last buck. I love that last year when we were doing college tours with my son, I was able to go do college tours with my son. I was able to take my wife to Alaska for 2 weeks for our 20th anniversary. I didn't miss any of my daughter's volleyball tournaments when she played travel volleyball the last few years. Like, that's important to me. Money's important to be able to make that happen. But there's just a spot where like, okay, I've got enough. I'm able to give. I'm able to do, certain things. Then the importance of freedom and family and the other things kind of, there's value, right? Cost is only an issue when in the absence of value. And so the team that I'm on has a lot of value.
Got you. Go ahead. You about to say something, Chris?
I was going to say, I would like to follow up with that, with the how. How was you able to generate? I think that's where you were going earlier. I would love to know for our listeners and our new people, how was Austin able to generate that type of income or revenue over those last few years? How'd you do it?
That's great. So a few different things. There's a difference. So if you're like for a brand new agent, I would say if you're just like, you need to make money now, you don't have time to like plant seeds and water and sunshine and grow things that are going to be more sustainable down the road, but you need fast cash, fast money now. You need money today. I feel like like one of those by the bond by the pawn shops, those money lenders ripoff guys. But if you need money today, like just do open houses, like 2, 3, 4 open houses a week. I know Melissa Ricks out there. She's super successful. She's still doing open houses. Like, open houses are awesome. They work. It's the best place to meet buyers that are actually looking to buy right now. You know how they're looking to buy right now? They're out looking to buy right now at your open house. So, and of course,
before you go to the next piece, let's stop right there. You talked about open house. Brand new agents, they don't have any listings. They don't have any open houses. How can they acquire those open houses so they can do them?
Just reach out to other people in your brokerage, especially. We've got in our at EXP here, we've got like a local Facebook group with a whole bunch of different teams, different people, and we're always posting up on there, hey, open house opportunity at XYZ, just had a price drop or new listing or pool home or whatever. And just latch onto those, reach out to people and just ask, hey, can I do an open house?
Closed mouth don't get fed.
And make sure this is just so you don't get ripped off, new agents, because for the most part, everyone out there is cool. But I remember when I was a new agent, there was someone that tried to like be like, yeah, you could do an open house at one of my listings, but any business you get from it, we're going to split it 50-50. And I was like, that didn't sound right. So I talked to some people and they were like, no, that's not how it works. And so thankfully that never played out. But for you new agents out there, just make sure it's fair. If you're doing the work, you're doing the open house, that's your person, that's your lead, that's your business. Good. You keep that. Don't do any ridiculous splits. Call us. We'll come take care of it.
We'll come take care of it.
Chris and Marie. So
you said open houses. So you said open houses. Do open houses. What else?
Open houses.
That's right.
What else?
Oh, okay, cool. So open houses are great, but I'm also a big proponent of, especially, there's nothing better than living in like a planned community that has a Facebook page. Now, the problem with the Facebook page is you have to shift through all the dog poop on my yard posts and teenagers driving the golf carts too fast, and just all the kind of cranky posts that you get on there. But being super active in that, and the absolute best 15 minutes a month I spend is shooting a monthly market stats video for my neighborhood. Like if you live in a neighborhood, and you've got to have heard this before, but just shoot a stinking stats video about your neighborhood. I'm in Beacon Lake, and I've been in here for about 4 years, and every month for the last 4 years, I've shot a neighborhood stats video. It's like, how many houses sold, average price, median cost per foot, days on market. Oh, by the way, we got the yard sale coming up, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't take a lot of time. It's not hard to do. And the best thing is, like, you'll be sitting there on a Sunday afternoon, just whatever, watching football, and you'll get a Facebook Messenger will pop up and say, hey, Austin, we're thinking about selling. Can you come look at our house? And maybe you're Facebook friends, maybe you're not, maybe you've met them. A lot of times you haven't. Like it's actually a problem sometimes. I tell the story. My wife and I were going for a walk in the neighborhood. And 3 times on this one particular walk, I had people come up to me like, hey, Austin, hey, good to meet you. I watch your videos, all this kind of stuff. So, I got to tell her, that's just the paparazzi. You're with a celebrity here.
Celebrity was a star, baby.
Her eyes rolled so far up into her head that I think she probably saw her brain. I don't know. But anyways, you build awareness, you become the expert. And instead of needing to go on knocking everyone's door, they're digitally door knocking you and asking you to come list their house, to come look at their house. Sometimes they're just pumping you for info. They already have another agent, but hey, it's an opportunity. And again, if you're just coming from an attitude of abundance and just trying to help people, then it all comes around anyways. And that's been a really good anchor for me. I do a good bit of listings here in Beacon and around. And a lot of times those people are buying something too. So
I love it.
Just being consistent every month, 15 minutes a month, like it pays off. The problem is most people just not going to do it. They'll do it for a month, maybe 2, and they just stop.
So to answer that question, let me add on to that question then. So what are you telling them? What advice are you giving those who are, and I really mean this, terrified of being in front of the camera? Like they're like, no way, no how. I hate how I sound. I hate how I look. They just terrified of being in front of the camera.
It's a great question.
Well, the really unhelpful answer, but it's true, is get over yourself and just do it. Okay, well, how that can play out, our boy Chris, Chris Gallo, when he first came on, he was a little bit, I don't know if he was nervous about video, but it just shooting a stats video, he just wasn't doing it. And so finally I was like, Chris, just shoot it and send it to me and Josh. Like, you don't have to post it. And so just working that muscle and just sending it to somebody who, like, we're not judging him. We're maybe can give him feedback or something like that. Didn't even need to. It was a great video. I'm like, okay, now post it. And so he sent it to us. We were like, now post it. And he did reshoot it again one more time, but he posted it. And that guy, he got 5 pieces of business from that one video. Like in Windward Ranch, no one was doing this. And so he's the mayor of Windward Ranch now. And he posted that video, and I think he got a couple listings out of that. And then maybe he got a unicorn and got the buy sell on one. And then it just branched out into 5 different pieces of business from one stinking listing or one stinking video.
Wow.
Just so Maurice, that doesn't particularly help, except for to say, like, maybe just shoot it without planning to send it anywhere, just to delete it, just to be in front of the camera. But how you sound on video is how you sound anyways to everyone else. How you look on video is how you look anyways to everyone else. So just do it. Sometimes you get resistance because maybe someone has an accent, right? We have a lady on our team who has an accent, and we're like, well, Henny. Hey, Henny. She's from Hungary, and she was a little nervous about shooting video. But the point is, like, she's way more interesting to watch than I am, because, like, she's got an accent, she's got something different, there's something that stands out about her. That's why, a lot of these big personalities, they grow big beards, they have something that, like, Josh is copying Maurice, growing the big beard. You got, hey, he's the beard guy. Oh, she's got that cute accent. Oh, he's the guy that does this or that. Like you have that little thing that makes you special. And a lot of times it's the things that we think are weaknesses are actually probably strengths because they're going to make you memorable, right?
That's good.
So just embracing who you are and just doing it. And I'd say that. So if you want like real advice, I would say light in the front, not in the back, and learn how to smile and talk at the same time. That's super important. I remember one of my first videos down at the lighthouses there by Beacon Lake, but 5 years ago when they're just putting them up. I remember holding my phone up, shooting this video, and it was kind of sunny. And I'm like, yeah, they're working on this thing here at Beacon Lake, and this is how my face looked. And I'm frowning into the camera the whole time. Right. And that was one thing that Josh gave me right away. He's like, hey, just that's a great video. Just smile more, because like if I just stop and just smile, I'm watching you, Chris. Come on, you're gonna smile. See, there it is, Maurice. I see it. If we smile on our video, other people are gonna smile, and if they're smiling, they're feeling good, and it's attractive. And I don't know. So learn how to talk and smile at the same time. If you can do that, you can shoot a video.
That's good.
Gotcha.
So let's go back on real estate, because I mean you're dropping some major nuggets on how to get this thing done. What do you think the biggest pitfall for most agents on why they're not able to? Because the stats right now is just huge. Like 80% of real estate agents who get into this industry are going to fail. Like why do you think that number is so high? And then why? And then how can they improve upon that?
It's because they're not consistent, and they can improve by being consistent.
More
I mean, I'm joking, but
no.
Yeah. So like success, and this is something I had to learn myself because I'm so like ADD and I'm like big visionary. My wife is like the implementer. I have all the ideas, right? But then too many different directions. The next exciting thing, chasing squirrels all over the place. Success really happens in the mundane. It happens in the boring. It happens in the doing the same little things every single day. Social media hit list isn't fun. It's not like I'm enjoying watching, funny reels or something like that the whole time. Writing handwritten notes isn't fun. I don't like it. It makes my hand hurt. I cramp up. First world problems, right? It's so like, oh, my hand cramps up. But so A, boredom, and then B, on that as well, sometimes the results don't happen right away.
Sure.
Josh didn't get his first lead from YouTube till I think it was after a solid year of shooting videos on YouTube. Now, most people are going to shoot 3 or 4 videos. They're going to post them. They're like, I don't have a lead yet. Oh, this is terrible. Like they said YouTube works. It doesn't work. And then, I'll give it another month. So you've got like 2 months in, you've shot 8 videos and you're complaining it doesn't work. Like you've got to put the time in. You got to trust the process. You got to recognize that success leads clues and do the same things and listen to what other people are doing and just stick with it. Like find something that is going to work. Don't reinvent the wheel. Don't be a tweaker. Don't tweak it. And just be consistent and just pick what you're going to do and do it. And stick with it. On our team, we like to have like 3 things that we're working on, for that particular year or that particular period in time. And if you have other ideas and other things you want to try, put that up on the shelf. And so if you're doing a 12-week year, so like this 12 weeks, you committed to focus on this. So just focus on that. And then if you want to switch something out later, you can do that, but you got to give things time with consistency to work. And then some stuff goes on autopilot and some stuff still the grind. It is what it is.
Gotcha. So Austin, so you've had a great career, started on a team, went solo, came back to a team. So what would you tell yourself then from now? Like what would you tell yourself back then? Like, hey, I should have done this.
Man, so if we're talking 7 years ago, I would have been like, start the YouTube channel and do what Josh did, but do it yourself. 7 years ago.
Yeah.
I am doing content. I do focus more on Facebook and focus more on reels and some other things. just for what's working for me right now. But yeah, I mean, it would have been earlier, hop into video and kind of grind out that presence before it got a little more crowded. But I almost hesitate saying that, because it doesn't matter if it's crowded. There's still, the audience is growing and growing too. And there's room for you if you want to start a YouTube channel, if you want to start something to be consistent with it. Absolutely, you can have still mad success with whatever platform you hop on. So yeah, my advice would be like, find a platform and be consistent with it. Gosh, I look back and, if the last 7 years, if I had been the king of super consistency on video on Facebook, or super consistency on video on YouTube, or whatever that was, I'd be a little further ahead than I am right now. And I'm not saying that complaining about where I'm at right now. I'm doing what I need to be doing right now. But yeah, sorry, I get going on our ramble, so you gotta rope me in.
That's good. You got a lot of content.
So here's my last question. I know we got to wrap it up here shortly. I know Chris got to ask another question as well. So what has the top 5 people you've been able to be around in real estate done for you in your business?
Wow. So gosh, you have the people that are just the rocks, I guess. And, the ones that, I guess you got the people that are like that coaching you, right? And they're directly having the conversations, holding you accountable, pulling you along at times, but keeping you focused. And you've got the people that you maybe watch, maybe not even like talking to them on a regular, but they're inspiring. You love what they're doing. Like Maurice, you are so consistent, and you've picked up the YouTube thing and just started doing it. Like, you're running the play, and people notice it, man. I notice it. I'm watching it. I'm like, dang, man, that guy is like so dialed in. He's got his VA. He's doing all the right things. Like, I find that super inspiring. So stuff like that. And then you got the other guys too that are a lot of times it's like I'm attracted to the traits that I don't have. And I know a few agents out there that are super like dialed in, administrative. They're like I time block. These people like time block. I'm thinking like Matt Plummer, man. That guy, he knows when he's gonna poop on Saturday. He's got everything dialed in like to the microsecond.
That's what's up.
Sorry, Matt. I just let your secrets out. But yeah, I guess it's the direct coaching, and then just the watching, the inspiration, the learning what's possible, seeing what's out there, following people that have never met me, seeing what they're doing on these different channels, and trying to emulate.
Gotcha.
You talked about coaching. How important is it for you to have direct coaching?
Oh, coaching. Yeah. Coaching. I mean, yeah, it's extremely important. Look, we're in the internet world. We've talked about that. We have more information. We got like all the information that the world's ever had. That might be an exaggeration. I don't know. But we've got more information now than ever. Like, everything's at your fingertips. You can learn how to do anything on YouTube. You can learn how to you can read any book, you can take any course, you can do whatever you want now. Information isn't the problem. We don't need more information. Agents don't need more information. We need to apply the information that we have. We need to be consistent. We need accountability. There's a quote I'd come across. It's like, normal people appreciate accountability, but champions seek it out. Like, if you want to be a winner and want to be successful, you got to get, if it's not hiring a coach, which I recommend hiring a coach. I've spent thousands of dollars on coaching. But it could be a team leader. It could be, another relationship, a mentor, whatever. You got to have coaching. You got to have accountability. You got to have someone that will keep you dialed in and consistent, and will also help you make tweaks and get self-awareness. I mean, awareness is transformational in and of itself. So sometimes it's just becoming aware of what you might be doing wrong or what, where you might need improvements. Just that little aha moment that comes from coaching can set you on the right track.
Sure. Now, did you get coaching at a later time in your career, or did you do it early on?
So I got it early on through Josh.
Okay.
He's a good dude. He's very coached, and that's kind of how he operates. A lot of questions. Sometimes it's frustrating. It's like, just tell me what to do, man. Stop asking me what you think I should do. Right? Maurice is there. He knows. Like,
man, I can't stand that. Like, dude, just tell me the answer. Don't ask me the answer.
Maurice, why do you think it is that? Shut up and tell me.
Exactly.
But
it's not a quiz. Give me the answer.
Hank, Matt. I've had some good coaches that I've hired, and then just some other people. Yeah, I've stepped into that coaching role. Still today, I'm not direct. I am paying from being on the team, but last year I was coaching some with Hank Avink. I'm still very pro pay for coaching. Here's the thing too. So my little brother's actually like fledgling. He's a obesity doctor and big on like lasting weight loss and all that kind of stuff. And last year I did some coaching to help me get from, I had high blood pressure, trying to get from 270 down to, I'm sitting about 245 right now. And did that. I hired a coach and was paying for it. And because I was paying for it, I was doing what I was supposed to be doing and, dropped that weight pretty well and put on some muscle and got a little more fit. Since December, I've held it off. I'm still sitting at 245, but I haven't been able to crack and like go lower. And my little brother's been helping me out a little bit, but I'm not paying him. So I'm not doing everything I'm supposed to do. Here's confession time. I believe having a coach, and I believe like having skin in the game and actually paying is important. I know it sounds kind of weird, but you're doing yourself a disadvantage if you're going to just try and get free coaching. I really think you need to have skin in the game and be paying for it. We value what we pay for.
That's good. Gotcha. You got a final question, or you want to go with my final one?
No, go with your final, because I was gonna.
Let's go with the final one. All right. So Austin, we drop you off. We drop you off in a place, a city. You have your real estate license. You're so excited about being in this new city. You don't know anybody. You don't know anybody in the city. You don't know anything about the lay of the land. What's the first thing that Austin's going to do?
First thing I'm going to do is start a YouTube channel. And if I'm in a neighborhood Facebook group, if I'm not in it, I'm going to join it. And I'm going to be like friend request, and doing stats videos on that neighborhood. And then I'm just going to start doing, I would probably start doing videos about that town and also about businesses in the town, and starting to, just because I didn't talk about this much, but I'm a big proponent of 7 levels of communication, and just networking and building business from bringing value to other people that have business. Sorry, I hope you can't hear my dog barking in the background.
No, we didn't hear the dog.
Bringing value to other people, and then in return, receiving value and referrals from that as well. So it would be starting to get to know people while creating video content and using that video content to get to know people. That's what I do.
Good stuff.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there we go.
So Austin, final thoughts. Real estate.
Give the people some information. Give the people some nuggets.
Give the people something to take with them.
Oh man. Okay. I think so. We talked about open houses.
Yep.
We talked about how we work those. One big mistake I think we make, and this isn't just open houses, but it's just kind of the context framework I'm working in right now. We've wrapped up the open house. We're done. We've met a bunch of people. We've got some phone numbers, and they're actually right phone numbers. Let's pretend that's actually good contact info. What's your follow-up look like? And typically for most people, it's like, hey, Chris, thanks for coming by 123 Main Street today. Just checking in to see if you found anything you're interested in, blah, blah, blah. And, if they went to 10 open houses, they're probably getting 6 text messages and they're all the same thing. So just leveling up our follow-up. And that even starts with maybe like a selfie. Click. Hey, Chris, this is Austin from the open house, blah, 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 blah. Next level up, hold down the button, shoot a video. Hey, Chris, it was great meeting you at the open house, blah, 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 blah. And then the last part of that is instead of like, hey, just following up with you, I hope you found something. It's coming up with, and this is a whole mindset, thinking of bait, thinking of hooks. You know, when you're fishing for salmon, you want a certain bait. When you're fishing for catfish, you want a certain bait. I think you just use garbage for that, right? I have no idea. When you're looking to get people to call you back, you need to exchange something of value. You need to have something of value to offer. So instead of like, hey Maurice, thanks for coming by the open house. If you have any questions, please let me know. Well, you know they're looking for houses. You're looking for houses in that neighborhood. Like, hey Maurice, my team, we do a lot of business in here. And sometimes and this might be on a video, sometimes we actually find out about homes before they even hit the market. We can actually get you on a list to let you know when we have a new listing coming in before it gets listed. So maybe you could cherry pick the best house for yourself and swoop in and grab it before the competition. How's that sound? And so now I'm like, oh shoot, FOMO, right? Like this guy has access to special things that I'm going to miss out on if I don't reach back out to him. Right. Or with a seller, hey, Chris, has anyone told you about the 2 big landmines that we're seeing out there right now? And they're blowing up deals, and they're causing everyone to lose money and time, and it makes your house sit longer on the market. Has anyone told you about those 2 landmines? Oh gosh, no. Can you tell me? Hey, let's set up a 10-minute cup of coffee. Like, let's meet for a coffee. I'll go over all that with you. Well, you know, let's just hop on a call. Well, it's more of a visual thing. Let's just get just trying to set the call, set the appointment. But it doesn't matter what the landmines are. But it's repair requests and appraisals. There we go. Got it. But it's a little bit clickbaity. But you do have stuff of value. Has anyone told you the 5 mistakes that people make when they buy new construction? Has anyone told you about these extra costs? The down payment's not just enough. There's actually a lot more. There's a lot more cost to buying a house than you'd think. Talking about appraisals and inspection and closing costs. You know, some people don't know about that. So just throwing but not giving all the information, just throwing a little bait out there. So it's interesting to the person receiving it. To make them reach back out to you. So after the open house, instead of just like, hey, just reaching out, hope we can connect, blah, blah, blah. It's like, hey, I remember you were talking about new construction as well. Has anyone told you about the 5 mistakes people make when they buy new construction? Send. And then at least then there's a higher chance that someone's going to see that you have something of value that's different than everyone else in Northeast Florida has. And they're going to reach out to you and have that conversation. It's standing out amongst the crowd, right?
I love it. It's good, man.
Yeah, man. A lot of moves and nuggets dropped.
Yeah. Great conversation, man.
Absolutely.
Way to be authentic and real, transparent with your information, man. You dropped. I don't know if you see me writing, but I took a lot of notes. And,
awesome, Chris. I love
awesome. It's awesome, man, that you were able to come on here and just really give the value, and that's what the show is
thank
all about.
You man. You guys talk about consistency. How many weeks in a row you done this now?
I think we on
6, 7.
And it's gonna keep going.
Actually, it's more than that. This is episode 9.
This is episode 9. Like, this is gonna be episode 52 in a year. Yep. And it's gonna be episode 108.
Yeah.
And no, my math isn't great, but
no, that's good though. I like it. Keep going. Just overinflated. That's good.
Yeah, man. You guys are doing it right. Josh and I are talking about copying you a little bit, but we don't have the charm. We don't have the charisma. So he's growing the beard. I guess I gotta get the hat. You got the hat guy. Josh could be the big beard guy.
Yeah. Me and you kind of close, right? So
yeah,
well, good stuff, man. We got to do it. It's like amazing because the information was flowing so rapidly, man. We got to do another follow-up call. We got to do another follow-up.
Let's do it, baby.
Let's do it.
Yeah, man. So thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule, man, to be on our podcast, man.
I'm honored, guys. I'm honored that you thought of me.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, that does it for this show.
We're
going to go ahead and wrap it up. Anything else you got to put out, Chris?
Nope, I'm good. Next week we got another awesome show. Next week we got some amazing things come out that we'll keep you guys posted on. I think we'll do another show before the 20.
Yeah, we'll do another show before our next event. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So we'll have one next week, and then we'll promote that at the time. Yep.
Sounds good.
Awesome.
All right.
Well, listen, don't talk about it, guys. Be about it.
Absolutely.
Peace.